Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about the importance of sleep. It's something I guess we don't talk about enough, but for me personally, it's an enormous part of what I do. To the point to where my sleep schedule is just as extreme as my training schedule. But we don't talk about that really, do we? Because it's always the training, and people who watch my vlogs realize that my own training workloads are way above average. And that's not an exaggeration. You look at all the studies and research, what coaches recommend. My weekly training volumes are probably double and in some cases triple what a lot of people would even recommend as ideal. So when we look at things from that perspective, I guess recovery is something that we really should talk about. I don't just sleep 7 or 8 hours a day, so I should probably make that pretty clear also. If I slept 7 hours a day, it would be completely and physically impossible to train the way that I do. It would not even be possible for me to do so. Okay. And that's something a lot of you guys need to think about. A lot of you guys out there who are saying, well, I sleep 6 or 7 hours a night. Well, that's why you don't squat 500 pounds. Okay. That is just simply not going to cut it for a hard training individual. It's not. Now, when we're talking about brain function, we know that it varies a lot from person to person. There's studies on that, optimal sleep. For any given individual, when it's been studied to get proper brain function and memory and all these things that you're looking at there cognitively, some people as low as 4, and a tiny number of people, just as few, need as much as 10. Okay, stuff I learned in school also in psych classes. We learned about that. But when it comes to training, we're dealing with something different. Almost all of your muscle growth is occurring during sleep. Okay, you're growing mostly during your sleep. I'm not saying growth doesn't occur outside of that. Muscle protein synthesis matters, but sleep is really kind of a big deal. It's really a big deal. And particularly after a given workout, that second night's sleep after is where a lot of your growth window is going to occur, depending upon muscle protein synthesis. But a lot of your recovery is obviously occurring in the first night of sleep. And if you're not sleeping enough, it's going to impact your maximum recoverable volume. And what do we talk about with volume and hypertrophy? We know that volume is the biggest factor in hypertrophy. Not the only factor. In fact, if we remove tension, we remove fatigue, it's an issue. But we come over to that point. When I say volume, I don't mean reps and sets. I mean how many quality reps did you get? Okay, that's training volume. How many quality reps did you get? And quality reps are going to include either attention or how close you are to failure, because obviously as you get bigger and stronger, if you were using the same weight for the same number of reps, you're going to start running out of quality reps really fast, because you have to increase the weight or you have to increase the reps to get quality reps on a set as you gain muscle and strength. All right, you have to. So I'm not saying that volume is reps and sets. It's how much quality training volume did you get, where upper threshold muscle fibers are being fatigued. The more training volume that you can recover from, the more muscle you are going to gain. That is a simple reality. Now, I don't want people to think that that comes down to, oh, if I don't train my legs, I can train my arms more. Because it's not hard for your system to recover from arm training. Now, your localized recovery is going to be different. And that's why that doesn't work. That's why that method doesn't work. Let me just skip half my body so I can make the other half grow faster. Well, probably not. Because your whole system is probably not approaching maximum recoverable volume from that. And your localized recovery could be an issue. But let's come over to that point. Let's assume even for an arm pro. Well, if you sleep more, all the connective tissue around your biceps and triceps is going to recover better. Okay. Your localized recovery is affected by this. Your growth is affected by this. And I'm not telling people to be lazy and lay around. In fact, I don't agree with that approach. When I say rest, I'm talking about sleep. I'm not talking about laying on the couch. Unless that involves active recovery with a massager, which is what I generally do. If I'm laying around watching something, a show, I'm probably squeezing a Captain's Crush gripper, or I've got a massager on some of my fatigued muscles, right? There's going to be something else happening. So I don't recommend people lay around and be lazy in that regard by rest. I'm talking about actually in bed, sleep with your eyes closed. If it's daylight out, a mask over your eyes. I'm talking about actual sleep. All right, you guys need a minimum of 8 hours of sleep. Okay, that should be your baseline. If you are serious about gaining muscle and strength, you're going to sleep 8 hours a night. And you're going to do so through any means necessary. I don't care whether that's popping melatonin, and yes, I use melatonin. It's one of the few supplements I use. I actually think melatonin is one of the only supplements that's going to help you with muscle growth, because it induces sleep. Okay, it induces sleep. And it even impacts hormonal response to sleep in a positive manner. All right, quality of sleep. Another reason I tell people not to use pre-workouts, not take stims that you don't need. They affect sleep. They affect sleep. It's one reason the studies have shown they don't work. At least I believe that's the case. Because if you need a pre-workout to make it through a workout because you're so tired because of your lifestyle, you probably need more sleep. You need to find a way to squeeze in an extra hour of sleep so that you can get your normal training done. And the pre-workout's going to make you burn the candle at both ends, because it's going to interfere with your sleep and push your workloads up for at least part of your workout. You're already under-recovered. Okay, I want to make that clear. Guys who have a really busy job, a demanding job, who then say, I'm too tired to train. You're already burning the candle at both ends training doing that. A pre-workout would be the most moronic thing you could possibly do, because it's very clear that you're not getting enough sleep. Because if you slept more, you would recover from your job and training better. It's lack of sleep. It's probably your biggest culprit. And possible nutrition. All right? Possibly nutrition. Quality nutrition. That comes up too. I always get idiots who think because I'm not ripped, they say stupid stuff like, oh, you eating bacon and cheeseburgers all day. I don't eat any food with 2 ingredients in it. Okay? I eat nothing but single ingredient foods other than on vacations and special occasions, right? In other words, I go 3, 4, 5 weeks at a time without eating anything that's not a single ingredient food. And that's what I mean by quality nutrition. What's a single ingredient food? Blueberries is a single ingredient food. Steak is a single ingredient food. Milk is a single ingredient food. Bread is a 157 ingredient food. See the difference? I'm exaggerating on that. That's hyperbole. You have to talk to millennials that way. Okay. Quality nutrition. My foods are a single ingredient. In other words, a meal for me might be a steak, a handful of blueberries, and 2 glasses of whole milk. Okay. Single ingredient foods. But sleep is critical. Me personally, my baseline is 9 hours. My baseline is 9 hours. I go to bed before the sun goes down most nights. I'm not saying I don't do that differently on certain occasions. And sometimes I get up and check messages sometimes in the night because I get up and pee and things. Might even check my YouTube and then pass back out. Now people say, are you worried about the blue light there? No, because I take melatonin. I pop a 10 milligram melatonin at like 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. My baseline is 9 hours. So here's my point to a lot of you guys who are struggling with recovery and gains and everything else. How much sleep are you getting? If it's less than 8 hours, I can tell you right off the bat what your problem is. There's your problem. There's where you're not making gains. 8 hours, that should be your baseline. And if you can't find a way to get 8 hours of sleep, it might be time to talk about how serious you are about your muscle growth. You're not, because that's what we mean. When we say rest and recovery, we don't mean laying around all the time. It should be active. We're talking about sleep. Actually sleeping, or at least laying there with your eyes closed in a dark room. And a lot of you guys, if you're sleeping 6 or 7, if you were to go to 8 hours a night, you would probably find that you could increase your training volumes and recover better. You would probably have more recovery and be able to do 10 or 15% more work than you currently do and recover better from that than you do now. If you do that, what's going to happen? You're going to make more gains. Sleep is one of the single most important components. So when we say rest, that's what we mean. Training loads, nutrition, and sleep. Without the sleep, none of the other stuff matters. It doesn't matter. It's a waste of time. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.